This is the reaction of someone who just lost $97,421.
It's gonna reverse though. Why?
Ironically, less than 10 minutes earlier, TJR was completely convinced the trade would work. But he's not the only one. Every single trader in this video believed their trade would work, right up until the market proved them wrong, and the market always sends that bill in full. Patrick Wieland has over 1 million subscribers on YouTube. He's been in the markets for around 7 years. In other words, he's no stranger to taking big, aggressive positions. But today, that habit is about to cost him. He opens the stream with a promise to himself to stay patient.
What's going on, guys? Patrick here. Today, well, I did exactly what I said I did not want to do. I told myself this morning, I said, Patrick, probably better to just walk away, you know, be patient, don't do something stupid. I basically talked about everything that happened before it happened. And well,
the problem is, the day before, he'd banked around $8,000 in profit, and nothing sets up a reckless session quite like a winning one.
I was overly aggressive at open, I oversized, and I'm not going to make excuses. I did exactly what every trader does. I took risk, I put it on, I was live on YouTube, the emotion was real, and it's just part of it.
By the time he's done trading, he's already down $3,000 for the day. He spends the next few minutes responding to viewers who think he's a loser for it.
Trading and bragging to people like, well, I would never lose $3,000. Well, guess what? You're also never going to make $30,000 in one day. Does that mean that I'm a gambler because I trade with large size? No. What it means is I'm aggressive. That's my style. I trade, I make money, or I either lose money. That's part of trading.
Then he goes ahead and defends his aggressive trading style. But buried in his own defense is the actual answer. It wasn't his strategy or the setup that was wrong. Everything he needed was right there on the chart, and all he had to do was wait for it.
But let's just talk about this really quickly. I'm pretty butthurt at this setup today in terms of the move. Yeah, I mean, this was it. Look at that thing. From the pivot point down to that pivot, I mean, it was there. The pivots were in play. This is the move. The best part is here, if you look at the 15-minute chart, oh my gosh, Patrick, would you just look at it? The 15-minute chart, opening range right there through the 23s. That was the move. All I had to do is just be fucking patient here.
Ironically, he doesn't stay patient, and that mistake almost cost him his entire combined account.
Or I want to make it clear too, is I did not blow that combined account. It's still active. Got $128 activity, so I mean, I could still bring it back. Yeah, I can still probably do it. I don't know.
Patrick may have been able to laugh off his $3,000 loss as just another red day, but sometimes it doesn't take a huge loss to start making bad decisions. This next trader, for example, threw everything over a trade which went exactly how he anticipated, but without him in it. Ducci Trades is just a teenager, but he's out here putting and pulling adult money on the stock market. Today, however, he lost his cool managing that adult money, and subsequently lost around $11,000.
$11,000, we lost about $1,100 per my 5 alphas and my 5 lucid accounts, so a pretty brutal loss today.
Duji opens the stream by walking through his strategy for the day.
Hold on. I really wanted this 1 minute short down to the 15-minute unfilled gap right here, and we actually didn't get the entry because we didn't inverse it on.
Since the 3-minute time frame on the NASDAQ chart hasn't given him the confluences that he's looking for, he stays out of the trade. Honestly, a pretty solid decision to stick to your trading plan, only if you would have maintained this throughout the video.
As well. So I end up missing this entry, delivering off these 2 buy-side levels here.
That's where everything changes. For the next stretch, Ducci sits and watches the market move exactly the way he'd predicted, just without him in it. And instead of waiting for the next clean setup, he compromises his own rules and flips bearish anyway. In his own words,
and I just feel like I kind of forced the entry, even though I think it was just going to dump. I was thinking it was one of those scenarios where we retrace into the 5 and we get legs down, we start going lower. This is the last thing that held up price, right? This held up price originally, and then we just go lower, inverse it finally, and then that's our dump, and then I thought it was kind of going to be like yesterday, where once we inverse that final gap, we just completely flush into the...
To make matters worse, his own viewers seemed to read the market better than he did in that moment. Unfortunately, he became overconfident after the trade moved as he had anticipated one. That decision ultimately cost him $11,000, but at least he knows how to hold himself together after a loss. This is Andrew from Bear Bull Trades. He shares his daily trades on social media and runs a community built around exclusive market information. Today, he has his eyes set on DJT shares.
Problems. So DJT has been on a daily chart. When you look at that, it's been gapping. It's been on a massive run from late September. It was trading at $12, and now it's trading at $53. So obviously, one of the reasons that it's actually doing pretty good is that a lot of people think that Donald Trump is going to get reelected.
The stock had been running hard, and Andrew spots his favorite setups. A 5-minute engulfing candle followed by a breakout. He goes long, but seconds later, the stock halts.
Came up, and I anticipated a 5-minute engulfing, which was one of my favorite things. So I went long, popped up above the VWAP, so essentially becoming opening range breakup. And if I'll show you quickly 5-minute chart as well, which is one of my really good patterns. And I added that, my average came around 53, and then it got halted.
About 5 minutes later, DJT trading finally resumes. But the stock doesn't reopen where it left off. It drops from 54 straight down to around 51. Andrew is holding 20,000 shares, and he's ready to get out the second that he sees the drop. But before he can get out, the stock halts again. When it finally reopens, Andrew manages to get out, but not without taking a significant loss of $50,000. And just to make things worse, the stock eventually climbs right back up to 54.
Surprisingly, it came back up all the way up to 54. And I did try to trade it again for a VWAP squeeze, but I got out because I was really mentally a mess. And as you see, actually did really pop up to 55.
Looking back, Andrew still believes the setup itself was solid. His real mistake was actually his trade size. 20,000 shares on a stock that volatile left him no room to maneuver once the halt started.
As the Duji came up, I'm not really blaming myself for trading at a 5-minute range breakup, but the problem was these halts are super dangerous and super difficult, and I took a big size on that. Like I mentioned that in the chat room, that this is a stock that is trading like 5 to 10% in a matter of a minute. You got to be really careful on your share size, and 20,000 shares is super big on.
But that wasn't the only time Andrew learned the lesson the hard way. Days later, he makes another very similar and a very expensive mistake with Tesla. This time, Andrew's looking at Tesla. The stock opens roughly where it closed the day before. He goes short on Tesla before VWAP, expecting the stock to quickly reverse. VWAP, or the volume weighted average price, is essentially just the average price the stock has traded at throughout the day, weighted by how much volume traded at each price. Most traders read that as bearish momentum, and so does Andrew. But Tesla has other plans. It bounces straight back and stops him out for a $17,000 loss.
Went short heavy on the below the VWAP. I was hoping to go with the red, quickly bounced back, and I got to stop that with a very big loss.
Andrew then walks through the other Tesla trades that went wrong for him that day.
Higher. So at 57 cents, I shorted Tesla, calls at 320. And then it went up all the way up to $4, came down, and then I eventually got to stop that on it at so for a very long time at 315. So that was like how much that would that be? Like 700% loss or something like that you have to do. So another one is 315. When you're shorting 315, I think I shorted that here. So again, at the open, I was thinking, there's no way Tesla is going to go up 10% a day. So I shorted the calls at 82 cents. I covered them at 1, and I'm glad I covered them at 1. But because look at that, it's now trading at 9. If I had 100 contracts, I would have been down like this one at $90,000, $100,000.
There's actually a common thread across all of these detailed trades. He kept underestimating Elon Musk's ability to move the stock and kept getting overconfident in his own read against it. Eventually, Tesla ripped nearly 10% in a single move, which Andrew says is the biggest single day jump he's ever seen from it.
To do a recap, because Tesla is up 10%, market is blowing up to all-time high, SPY is very close to 600, and it's crazy thanks to the US election. And
by the end of it, Andrew is down roughly $30,000 on Tesla alone. But to his credit, he also landed some genuinely good trades that same day. So yeah, you can read the market almost perfectly and still make the bad trades due to your overconfidence. And Andrew isn't the only trader who learned that lesson the expensive way. This is Ohad from Relentless Trader, a small trading community for, well, relentless traders. Ohad, however, doesn't exactly prove to be that relentless. He starts the day pretty confident about a particular stock.
Everywhere, whenever you see a stock pops out, you better expect it to fade hard. And I was slow to catch up on it because I had too much convictions on some stocks, mainly one stock. If you traded today, you may already guess it. It is ticker symbol ENLV, right?
The same stock that had exploded nearly 90% in a matter of seconds.
It popped to like 837, so it's up like 90% on the day or something. 70-90% on the day in just a split second. So I'm like, okay, let me catch a micro pullback real quick.
And that was his first mistake. Instead of seeing that kind of move as a reason to slow down, he saw it as an opportunity to be more aggressive. He wanted to catch the pullback. Because in his mind, he'd seen the setup before. Other stocks had made similar explosive moves recently, so why wouldn't this one do the same thing? Well, to be frank, there's actually no real confluence there. A stock ripping 90% doesn't mean it's about to rip another 90%. Sometimes it means the exact opposite. To make matters worse, Ohad had already missed several setups earlier. And that FOMO made him believe in this one even more.
Studying enough. So that's on me, man. Because if I had studied like I should have, maybe when EDBL popped yesterday, maybe I would have caught it, of course, but I did not. So I need to study more, man. So I'm not catching anything of that, and then I'm having like the feeling of FOMO. It's not
His strategy was a complete disaster from the get-go, and his actual trade was no better.
a minute. Yeah, so I'm buying 687, 694, and you can see the slippage, man. Slippage lately when I'm trading those higher price names, I can't, man. And it's only for like 1,200 shares or something. Like, it's nothing crazy. So my dumbass was, okay, I'm buying this micro pullback, and then I was averaging down because it moved down so quick. And it's not that I averaged down with like double of my size, but I did add like, I want to say quarter size of what I initially had. So adding there, and then I'm holding for a split second longer, and I have to sell it for like a 2-point loss or something, man.
Instead of cutting the trade when it moves against him, Ohad keeps adding to it. He's convinced that a bounce is coming. But it never does, and before long, he's sitting on a $3,700 loss.
So yeah, I'm red 3.7, as you guys can see.
By this point, Ohad has completely lost his composure. He wants the money back immediately, so he takes another trade purely to chase the loss. It backfires, adding another $1,000 on top.
Of course, I wanted to make my money back, and it did affect me for a bit, but nothing.
Ohad eventually recaps all the trades from the day and calculates his total loss at around $3,900. And for a relatively small-time trader, that's a pretty painful hit. What makes it worse is that the whole thing stemmed from his FOMO. He'd missed the previous 90% movers, and that fear of missing out made him trust ENLV far more than the setup actually deserved. Eventually, the market charged him nearly $4,000 for it. But if you think nearly $4,000 is a painful price for conviction, wait until you see what happens when a trader puts millions of dollars behind his. This is Ducci Trades, a trader who also happens to run a trading community, and today he's going after the big fish.
So for this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to log into my $100,000 account, and we're going to see where we go from there. Let's see if I can get Phil over here.
He spends some time analyzing the gold market.
So yeah, we got a resistance right up over here. We got a resistance here up at 22.95. We have a support right down over here. Let's say on gold, this 15-minute time for the circle on 30-minute time frame. Yeah, 30-minute time frame right here. We got resistance and we got support.
And then casually decides he wants to go full margin, meaning he's prepared to use a significant portion of his account on a single trade.
Margin, yeah, I do want to go full margin. I think if I can get...
In other words, he's hopeful, just like any other successful trader. After a bit more analysis, Raja lays out his strategy for the session.
What I do is I may have my buy stop above the 15-minute candle and a sell stop below the 15-minute candle. That's what I'm going to do. Right there. But obviously not right now. We'll have to wait.
But even before he's even found any real market confluence, he tells his audience he wants to go 20 lots on the trade.
Yes, so the lot size I'm going to use here is probably going to be $20 lots. 20 lots is going to be used here today.
There's a slight problem with a trade that big, however. Raja doesn't actually have that kind of money. 20 lots of gold is roughly $4.5 million in exposure. What he's doing is using leverage through his $100,000 account. That's exactly what makes this trade so dangerous. Even a small execution gap at this size could cost him thousands in an instant. A minute later, the chart itself is practically screaming not to take the trade.
I'm ready to see massive slippage. I'm not ready to see massive. But hey, listen, if you are going to trade here, you have to understand there's going to be massive slippage happening. Massive slippages are going to come your way. There's no way that your order will get filled at the right time. We think it's going to get filled. It's not going to happen like that. There's going to be massive slippage, and you got to be prepared for that, buddy.
But even after pointing that out to his own viewers, Raja stays confident. So confident, in fact, that when someone in chat says they have to leave for prayer, he casually throws his 20 lot buy stop up on screen and tells them to trust him, enter the trade, and leave for prayer.
Bro, listen, if you have to go for Jummah, inshallah, brother, put a buy stop and let it be. When you come back, listen, trust me, listen. If you put a buy stop right here, I'll put this buy stop here with you. 20 lots, buy stop in, right here.
For the next few minutes, Raja chats with a friend and responds to messages in the stream. He marks a possible take profit level for a long position.
This is going to be the TP, hopefully, for buys if we do continue to push up.
Before long, price is closing in on that level. When a viewer asks when he plans to enter, Raja answers,
20 minutes before the NFP.
For context, non-farm payrolls, or NFP, is one of the biggest economic releases of the month, and when the numbers drop, gold can move violently in either direction within seconds. Raja knows this. He's been talking about the volatility himself, yet he still has plenty of reasons to believe the market is going higher. He even starts talking about how much money he's made trading gold before.
The information right there, look, commission per lot, $3.50. Look how much I've made on gold, $112,000.
Perhaps that's why he's so confident, but now we're only minutes away from the trade, and once again, Raja reminds everyone just how volatile the market is about to become.
If you are doing this, you have to look at it this way. Your orders, they can be slipped. No, what the fuck am I saying? They can be slipped. They will get slipped.
Then it happens. Raja finally gets into the trade, and the exact thing he's been warning everyone about happens almost immediately.
Big move. Oh, wow, look at that. Almost got activated. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. It paused. Big move coming. Oh, no way. 50. What the fuck?
Wow.
What the fuck? What the fuck, Caesar?
Still holding.
Show them right here.
No, it's good now.
Whoa. What the fuck? 50K right there. This is wild.
Less than a second after his entry, the market reverses completely, and Raja is down roughly $50,000. Ironically, a viewer had called this exact move minutes earlier.
Pay attention, it's going to be a sell. How do you know it's going to be a sell? How do you know it's going to be a sell? How do you know?
When it finally sinks in, this is Raja's response to the prediction.
The guy was like, I saw the seller saying, I told you it's going to sell. Man, shut the fuck up.
Then he predicts the market again.
So look, what happened here now is I'm going to give you my expert opinion. Look at this. You see this? Candles closed here, and this candle closed above this area, right? So this is a liquidity grab for price to go up.
For once, he's actually right and has market confluences.
In clown. No, bro, Dean, listen, I'm not a clown. Maybe when your dad and your mom met, they were probably clowning around, so they created a clown, which is you, Dean. Clown. Dean, I made more money than your poor father makes in a whole month.
He claws back to $8,000, but he's still down roughly $42,000 for the day. Eventually, Raja explains what went wrong.
You know why it happened? I know there are a lot of guys who got slipped as well. The biggest reason why is like, look at the numbers right here, right? They were expecting a lower number.
But even still, even if you were expecting 250, like 300 from 250 even as a...
No, they were expecting
No,
200.
but I'm saying, like, let's say they say, okay, it's going to be bigger. They could have said, like, 275, 250, right?
Yeah.
But this was 303. It's a big number.
Yeah, this is like 100,000 more than what they were expecting. So when it's 100,000 more they were expecting, so much volume comes into the market, so much volume comes in that there's a huge discrepancy in price.
Yes.
Raja walked away from that trade $42,000 in the hole. Everything happened in literally just a single violent move. This next trader, however, watched a massive profit sitting right in front of him, but waited to see it turn into a 6-figure loss. This is Brad Go. He claims to have been trading for almost 7 years, starting with a $20 account from his bedroom at 18, and eventually building his trading income to nearly $1 million a month. Today, though, that confidence gets put to the test almost immediately.
Not gonna lie, it's not looking good, bruv. We might actually end up losing this trade. I might got too ahead of myself just now, man. Not gonna lie, bro. Not gonna lie, it doesn't look...
Brad starts the day with a trade that clearly isn't going according to plan, but he's still confident in the idea. The only problem, however, is his entry.
The only thing that sucked about this trade was my entry. Like, bro, I kind of knew price was gonna pull back to this area right here, but instead of being patient and just wait for price to come down there and get a better risk to reward, I just, you know, got a little bit reckless, got a little bit impatient, and just entered right here instead.
Minutes later, the trade still isn't going his way, so he does a full 180 and flips from long to short. That decision alone is going to cost him $140,000.
Alright, it better bounce right now. If it doesn't bounce, I'm switching to a short position, man. I'm pivoting this trade idea right here. You know what? Doesn't look like it's gonna bounce. It looks like it's gonna go down. You know what? Let's switch to a short position. Should we close this trade and take a 140k L right now?
By the time he finishes flipping into the short, he's sitting on a $166,000 loss.
You know, we just took a 166k L, but it's nothing we can't handle.
To his credit, Brad doesn't run from it. He admits the original trade idea was wrong and sets a proper stop loss and take profit on the new bearish position.
Instead, and then stop loss potentially gonna place it above this high, and then for my take profit, I'm gonna target like somewhere right here.
He spends the next few minutes talking about ego and how the best traders are the ones willing to admit fault, instead of doubling down to protect their pride.
The thing is, you don't have to be right all the time in order to make money in this game. You just gotta be able to admit that you are wrong.
And for a while, his trade actually works.
Price is just gonna dump, bro, and when it dump, it's gonna dump like a freaking dump truck, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, let's just continue holding on to the trade. What do y'all say? What do y'all say? Look at it, look at it. What do I say? It's dumping because I said so.
That's probably where the overconfidence steps right back in. At one point, Brad is sitting on $150,000 in unrealized profit, but doesn't take it because he's convinced that the price still has further to run in his favor.
Is it 160k? Let me just take a look. Yes, I'm down 166k. And then right now, I'm up about 150k on this one trade itself. If this trade goes into TP, we can expect to make at least 100 plus k net profits.
But then the market turns against him again.
Alright guys, update on the trade itself. Right now we are in a massive drawdown, as you guys can see. Price pretty much just reversed because, I don't know, it needs to grab more liquidity before it can go down, I guess. So we did have the big bearish candlestick like what we predicted, but then not enough selling pressure. So as a
Brad still believes the bearish thesis will play out, so he holds. Then he hits his stop loss.
oh my god, price pretty much did a 180 on us today, man. What is going on? Anyways, but I get stopped out right now. Can't even complain, man. Took another 306k loss. Total, we lost about $500,000 today. Holy freaking shit, man. I just lost $500,000 today, guys. This is absolutely unreal. I'm just sitting over here.
He finally breaks down exactly what went wrong.
It's the idea that when you make something way too important, you create resistance. Like, the more you need something to happen, the more emotional you become. And when you're emotional, you stop seeing reality clearly. You stop seeing the market for what it is. And I think that's exactly what happens to so many traders, including myself today.
That's overconfidence in its purest form. You convince yourself the trade will work out, you ignore the confluences telling you otherwise, and eventually the market makes you pay full price for it. Brad lost because he couldn't let go of his conviction. This next trader, however, is about to show us the other side of that same problem, knowing exactly what you should do and then doing the opposite anyway. This is TJR, a futures trader who clearly knows his way around the market. But today, that knowledge might not be enough to save him. He starts by reading the market as bearish. Nasdaq has already swept the London and Asia lows. ES is showing a bearish SMT divergence. Higher time frame liquidity is sitting below, and from his perspective, everything is lining up for a move lower.
4 hours looking bearish. We have, in my opinion, better draws and liquidity to the downside, so that's going to be what I'm going to be looking at today.
For a while, the market plays along exactly the way he called it, but then it sells off completely and instantly as well. Instead of chasing the move, TJR actually makes a smart call here. He doesn't jump in because price has already traveled too far from a reasonable entry.
Oh my goodness, holy sell-off, dogs. We might not even be able to get a trade today. Look, Nasdaq just took out these lows. Nasdaq just took out these hourly lows. ES is selling off. We took out London lows on ES now. Personally, I would want to wait for a higher time frame retrace.
He spends the next several minutes explaining in detail exactly why traders shouldn't use a higher time frame level to justify a low time frame entry. It's solid advice. He just won't be the one taking it. Because after the initial sell-off, ES starts flashing a bullish SMT divergence, and suddenly the whole picture flips bullish.
This is looking bullish, bros. At least right now, if we can maintain this, I gotta wait until this hourly candle closes, because like this hourly wick, very bullish.
TGR just needs ES to reverse the gap as his final confirmation before going long. He watches price dance around that level for several minutes, and somewhere in there, he loses his own patience.
Okay, nice. Maybe we get the inverse now. If we get the inverse now.
Give me the inverse, give me the inverse, give me the inverse, give me the inverse. Give me the inverse right now, right now.
He waits a few more seconds, the market spikes down, and he misses his entry entirely.
Bro, I got horrible fills. Oh my days. Bruh. Well, we kind of have to just hope and pray at this point, because that was a horrible fill. Horrible, bro. Are you joking?
And this is where the trade starts going wrong, because instead of accepting that he missed his entry and waiting for another clean setup, TJR enters anyway.
First take profit. Now I'm kind of in like a shitty position. And I low-key am just gonna wait until potentially these lows, if they can even get taken out as first TP, which is just not really ideal for me at all.
A minute later, he's already regretting it. That frustration only gets worse when the market completely reverses and stops him out.
Boom, swift move through, boom, swift move through, boom, swift move through. Unfortunately, it's not going in our favor right now. Shit's about to stop me out, and I'm out. That puts me at a loss of, damn, that much? Jeez, bro. See, I didn't even want to be risking that much. I lost 44,850 bucks on that.
That's already more than he wanted to risk for the entire session. At this point, the smart move would be to walk away, but TJR doesn't. He wants the money back. And when you start trading because you need to recover a loss, the market can become less about finding a good setup and more about proving yourself right.
I'm gonna go long here. Going long on ES again. See if we can get these Asia highs. With equal highs up here. Damn, do I really want it like that? Maybe I just have my stop underneath this low.
That's exactly what happens next. TJR stops waiting for the confluences he was so careful about earlier and starts trusting his own conviction instead.
I did like 1,000,000,000%. do not want to see price come back down in this area. So my stops are just underneath this low.
He puts his stop loss just beneath the recent lows and enters a long position. For the moment, everything looks normal. ES has respected the order block, the gap has been inverted, and he believes price can now push toward the Asia highs. But then, the position starts bleeding. At first, he's $18,000 on the trade.
All right, let's see how much drawdown I'm in. Oh, I'm only down 18K. That's not horrible.
And instead of cutting it, TJR stays committed to the idea. He truly believes the market will eventually sweep the low and reverse in his favor, but the market doesn't give a damn about his conviction and turns his $18,000 loss into a $40,000 one.
How much drawdown are we in right now? I'm down 40 racks.
When he finally exits, TJR is down $97,421 for the session. And then, just to twist the knife, the market sweeps the low and reverses exactly the way he'd originally anticipated. He just isn't in the trade to see it.
I'm sick. Chase it? No, bro. I'm not chasing that. It's gonna reverse though. Why? Oh, I knew it. Oh my god. Oh man. Oh, bro, are you joking? It's literally going to rip to the highs now. Oh my god. Oh. Bro, are you joking? Are you joking on that one? Are you joking? Are you joking on that one? Oh my god, I guarantee you it's going to hit the highs now. Holy fake out. Oh my god. Oh man, you're joking, bro. You're joking.
Every trader in this video was skilled enough to see the setup coming. That was never the problem. The problem was what happened when their discipline turned into ego and a good read turned into an oversized bet. If that sounds like something that has happened to you before, we'd love to read about it in the comments section. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe for more trading content just like this, and we'll see you in the next one. Till then, happy trading.